I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 105. We're from the comic book store Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio. And every week we read a big old stack of comics. We come back and let you know what we recommend to you, our faithful viewers out there. And this week there was a lot of great stuff that came out. We'll start things off with... We actually don't have notes today. We actually have comics. Start things off with Green Arrow number 17 by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. And I was completely surprised and shocked by, yes, I'm laughing for no reason. Shocked and surprised by how much I enjoyed this issue. This should have been the first issue of the Green Arrow series post New 52. They could have started with this and then done some flashbacks to find out what was up with Ollie, but it is awesome, to steal a word from Josh. The artwork is great. Sorrentino was doing iVampire, so if you like that kind of Jay Lee-esque heavy shadow type art, and he really takes it to a new level here, because in iVampire, everything is dark. We're talking about vampires. They're out at night a lot, so it's very, very dark. This story happens during the day and at night, so you've got a lot of light and dark, and he does some really creative stuff with color and black and white. I think one of the big selling points for me on this was the artwork. However, Lemire is telling a proper Oliver Queen story. Even though it's a young Ollie Queen, this is it's wall-to-wall action. It's almost like a Daredevil Born Again, if you're familiar with that story, where basically by the end of the issue, Ollie is left with nothing, how does he survive? Some people know his secret identity, and they're using that to their advantage to burn this guy into the ground. I really cannot say enough good things about this. Was very pleasantly surprised. If you've been away from Green Arrow since the beginning of the New 52 because it didn't work for you, I encourage you to go back and check it out, because I think this one might be the magic here with Lemire and Sorrentino.
First up on my list, we've got Ultimate Comics issue 20, written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Sarah Pichelli. It's no secret that we here at Alter Ego Comics love Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. Miles Morales is one of the best new characters to come out of Marvel in decades, at least a decade. And this story is actually kind of kicking it together. For a while, Ultimate Spider-Man was a little bit mired down in the United We Stand crossover stuff with the other Ultimate books, which was solid, but it also meant his story was being paced so that it would fall in with the others, and it just sort of took something away from the book. Now we've got Venom on the scene, basically coming after Spider-Man. Venom is following some people and believes for some reason that Miles' father actually is the new Spider-Man. And so we have a confrontation, right out in the streets in front of his house. His mom, his dad are there, his friends there. He's low on web fluid. It's classic Spider-Man, having to make a decision between revealing his identity and protecting the people he cares about, fighting the bad guys. And it's a great example of how Ultimate Comics Spider-Man makes a new book feel like the classic stuff from the 60s. It really has the spirit and the, I guess, I don't want to say angst, but there's definitely a lot of emotional drama in what's going on in this issue. And it was just awesome.
I agree. I would have talked about this. I actually had this on my list of possible things to talk about, but I talk about it every time it comes out. So I've decided to, unless there's something bad going on, you won't hear from me on Ultimate Spider-Man again. It's just so good, so good. And it's easy to go back. It's only on issue 20. It's easy to go back and start from the beginning with this. Those of you that may have abandoned Amazing Spider-Man for one reason or another, like Dan Slott, you may want to jump over to Ultimate Spider-Man, although I don't know why, because Spider-Man is still great. Superior Spider-Man. But Ultimate Comics Spider-Man is so good. Speaking of so good, we've got Snapshot, number 1 by Andy Diggle and Jock. This is a 4-issue miniseries. And this is the team behind The Losers, the Vertigo series of the A-Team-esque team. And there was a movie made with the guy from Watchmen and the guy from Thor and the girl from Star Trek.
And Captain America?
Yes, Chris Evans was in it too, which is really good. The Losers movie is definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. And the comics are excellent too. But this is from that creative team, and this is the story of a guy that works in a comic shop. On his way to work one day, he finds a cell phone in the park, and it's like finders, keepers, losers, weepers. And then he finds out that the phone actually belongs to a hitman, and then the action starts. And it feels like a movie. It feels like a great episodic television. You've got a chance to get to know this main character and a couple, one of his friends. Everything is not as it seems, and Jock's artwork is worth the price of admission alone. This isn't black and white, but I actually think his artwork works a little better in black and white than it does in color. So if you enjoyed Jock's work on Batman the Black Mirror, the Dick Grayson Batman storyline, or the backups that he's been doing in the main Batman book by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, Jock's been doing the art in the backups. You really want to check this one out. It's a great creator-owned book from Image Comics. One of the things that was on our list of comics to watch in 2013 from Image. I really liked it.
Next up, I've got issue 1 of Red Team from Dynamite Publishing, written by Garth Ennis with art by Craig Cermak. What? Josh is talking about a Dynamite title? Yes, he is. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Dynamite's publishing schedule, and I have a serious on-again, off-again relationship with Garth Ennis. Sometimes I really love him. His Punisher Max stuff is awesome. I enjoyed Preacher to a certain point. But a lot of his things, like The Boys, goes a little further than my palate will allow, and sometimes it seems like he's being extreme just to be extreme. This is Garth Ennis back in the Garth Ennis war vein, the stuff like Battlefields, the really great human drama. Essentially, we're talking about a group of cops who've decided to do that thing that cops in movies and TV shows do occasionally, and cross the line. Somebody cannot be eliminated through normal means, so they're going to eliminate him permanently. And it's really, really well structured. It reads like, I'd say what Mark just said, it reads like an episodic television show, the way it's paced, the way it's sort of semi-narrated by an omniscient character in the future. And it's just really good. It reminds me of the classic cop drama, the stories where you're not sure who's good and who's bad. You see these, it's like The Godfather. You see these people doing horrible, horrible things, but you see their justifications for them, and you kind of feel for them even though they're doing what you know is wrong. So if you're a fan of real great police procedural drama or just really good comics, Red Team 1 is absolutely worth checking out.
Next up for me is, what is this?
What is this?
New Avengers number 3 by Jonathan Hickman and Steve Epting, and this continues the Illuminati storyline, and also the parallel universe, the impending doom of our universe because another universe is going to cross into our space and knock us out of existence. It's kind of like they're shooting pool with the planets. You just hit one into another, one goes off the board, and bad things happen. So at the end of the previous issue, it was decided that the Illuminati needed to go gather the Infinity Gems and recreate the Infinity Gauntlet because this could be the one thing that could save our world. And so they do that in this issue. They go out and get the gauntlet, and the one person with the best will and the best resolve to wear it is Captain America. And things may not have gone as planned. One of the reasons I really like this book is, and I've mentioned this before with Bendis' work on Avengers, Hickman's characterization of the characters. He really knows the characters. He's writing them very well. These guys have all known each other for a very long time, and you can tell that in the writing. Epting's artwork is great, as always. This is the guy that was with Ed Brubaker on Captain America for many years, and then jumped over to Winter Soldier, and now, hey, he's drawing Captain America again in New Avengers. But Steve Epting does a great job drawing the characters in the Marvel Universe. The best thing about this, as I said, is the interplay between the characters. And I have a feeling that this is going to tie in at some point with, maybe not, with what Hickman is doing in the new series, which was just recently announced, Infinity, from Marvel, which is the return of Thanos to the Marvel Universe and is going to kick off in their free comic book day offering on Saturday, May 4th, and we'll have it right here at Alter Ego Comics. So this may be the beginning of a bigger picture, but even if it's not, it's a really good story. I know some people kind of struggled with the first issue of New Avengers. We did as well. Didn't really know what to make of it, but issue 2 made up for it, and issue 3 continues the line of really good stuff from Hickman and Epting.
And staying on the Avengers train, we've got Avengers issue number 5. This is Adjectiveless Avengers. Written by Jonathan Hickman with art by the always awesome Adam Kubert. I was going to say Andy, but it's not Andy. Avengers is actually, or at least was actually, my least favorite Avengers title, which is actually more about how all of the other titles are really solid than about how this one is not necessarily good. But this issue really turned it around for me. It's essentially a character profile on one of the relatively new characters we see in the book, but it's very much I can't even, there aren't words.
Find them.
Find the words. It's essentially you see this new character who's the chick in the black. and red and white costume, and her origin, how she picked up these devices that give her powers. And it's very cool. It's got a lot of little human moments. You know, it's a lot of times, especially when you see a new character brought into a team book, the origin is kind of washed over, like, oh, he found a suit and then he punches guys. And this was very good. I mean, it's essentially a whole issue that's about her coming up, and it really makes you care for her. You see where she's at psychologically. You see how she meshes both with the Marvel Universe and with the Avengers team specifically. And it's just really great character comics, which is what Hickman excels at. And it's good. That is all.
All right. My last pick is Young Romance #1 from DC Comics, and this is an oversized issue. It's kind of a Valentine's Day special, and I think a lot of people are going to overlook this because they see the title of Young Romance and they say, no, that's not for me. But this probably is for you if you're DC Universe fans, because we've got 5 different stories in here. Is it 5? 5, 6, 6, says right here on the cover. 6 stories from all corners of the DC Universe. That includes a Catwoman Batman story written by Ann Nesenti with artwork by someone that I don't know, but art looked really good. Lou Pacino, that's a last name. And it's really kind of David Finch-esque. I was very impressed. We've got an Aquaman Mira story that was very good. We've got a Batgirl story, which picks up a thread from the Batgirl Annual, and that's written by, I believe it's Ray Fawkes, who will be doing the next 2 issues of Batgirl before Gail Simone returns. And then we have an Apollo Midnighter story by Peter Milligan and Simon Bisley, which is just a crazy combination to be working on, Apollo and Midnighter. Got a Nightwing story from regular Nightwing writer Kyle Higgins. And then finally we have a Superman Wonder Woman story by new Action Comics writer Andy Diggle with some artwork by that guy, Rocha. That is also a last name. I should have been more prepared. There's so much stuff in this book. But if you're a fan of the DC Universe, you really want to check this out. You've got great character moments between a lot of the couples in the DC Universe. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was another one like Green Arrow where I really wasn't expecting to like it, but was pleasantly surprised, and I think you will be too. The other nice thing about this is it does appear to set up some stuff, some threads that are going to continue in the regular series of these characters. You'll see at the end of each section, or many of the sections, it says, find out more in Batgirl number 17 or Superman number 17 or 18. So Young Romance. Oh, I've almost forgotten. Josh, I'm sure, would have corrected me or hit me over the head or something. This does come with Valentines that you can rip out, which are incredibly awesome. For example, we have Aquaman saying, "Let's make a splash, Valentine," or Swamp Thing saying, "You don't bring me flowers."
You don't bring me flowers. You don't sing me love songs.
We've got Catwoman saying, "You're perfect." We have...
You've got Grayson Beauty.
Grayson Beauty by Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Nightwing. What else? There were some really fun... Say the Magic Words and I'm Yours by Shazam. Cupid Beat Me to It, Green Arrow. It's worth the price alone just to rip these out and give them to people. Or keep them because they are completely awesome. Send your kids in to school with these and they will be the most popular kids there. Either that or they might get beaten up.
We make no promises.
Yes, no guarantee. So that is it for this week. Really, really strong week for comics, and that's always fun when you have so much cool stuff to offer. And as you may have seen in the reviews, there's more than just superhero stuff out there. We talked about a number of independent books that are definitely worth checking out, so give those a shot too. Let me see here. That's probably about it. I don't want to mention anything else because I don't know exactly when this will be going up. But come back next week and we'll have another batch of comics to talk about. And as always, please leave your comments below, and we appreciate you watching.
How did this get in here? Damn kids.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Yum, yum. I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 105. We're from the Ultimate.
Let's start again.
We're from the Ultimate Comic Book Store. Yes, we will start again.
Sorry.
And 3, 2,